Ironically, the most quiet day Manila has ever known in contemporary times began with a noise, a loud pounding on the glass door of my penthouse apartment. The friend who was hollering and shouting and bruising his knuckles on the glass blurted out as soon as I slid the door open, "Martial law na." And we kind of like look at each other. Then I turned and clicked on the radio. Nothing but white noise. Turned on the television set. Nothing but a white screen and static. The friend, looking pale and distraught, said, "No television, no radio station, everything has been closed down." We eyeballed one another. I suddenly remembered the last item in the late news before I went to bed. A picture of a car with its roof stove in, and a male voice saying that the car of the Secretary of National Defense had been attacked, but he was not in it, fortunately. And I was thinking, what? Some criminals attack an empty car? What happened to the driver? Why would people blow up an empty car? And as I was going to bed, my bedroom window, behind my bedroom window was this huge government building. I think it was the development something of the Philippines. And the whole building, floor after floor after floor, was lit up. All the lights were on. And this was around 2 o'clock in the morning. And I told my companion, I said to my companion, something is happening. Something is happening all over the city. Something is happening. Now this friend, blurting out his news, his eyes crazed and frightened, triggered a kaleidoscope of memories in my brain. This would become a habit with me, this going into mental hyperdrive, correlating incidents and data. A relic from that day, Manila fell quiet. The last memory that cascaded down in my brain was that of the smiling Senator Benigno Aquino. As he said to me while we were in the red carpeted foyer of the old Senate, and I quote, "Marcos certainly will not catch me lying down." And I said, "Ah, well, good talking to you, Senator. Good talking to you, President Aquino." And I waved away goodbye teasingly. It would be my last encounter with the senator. In 1984, when he was assassinated on the tarmac, I was in New York City, and I saw his picture, the picture of the body, on the New York Times front page. And I said, "Oh, I better fix my papers. Marcos is going to fall. He's coming down." I had lived for 7 years undocumented. What is the point of this recollection? It is to stress that martial law was personal. Personal. Everyone felt it, was affected by it, had an opinion, a thought, a feeling about it. The day it was declared, with my friend standing there, his hair practically on end, I remembered how a week before a minor journalist covering the military had generously offered to check whether my name and address were on the wanted list or the arrest order list. I was very young, but I was not stupid, never been. So I gave him an old address. And sure enough, I would find out that it had been raided. So on that day, looking for a safe telephone I could use, I left the apartment with my then companion. The streets were busy, everything seemed normal, except it was so very, very quiet. Now, those of you who have been to Manila or who grew up in Manila, you know how noisy the city is. Very noisy. It was so very quiet on this day. Aboard the jeepney, there was only desultory human voices. Para, mama, sa kanto lang. No music, no talking, and everybody avoided looking at one another. We were all locked within, already imprisoned, as it were. When we passed by a newspaper building and saw rolls of concertina barbed wire in front, we all took a quick glance and then looked away, averting our eyes immediately. We did not want to appear to be too interested. Already, we were beginning to learn how not to call attention to ourselves. A very strange thing for Filipinos, who, as we know, love to strut, love to crawl, and love to flap wings. But on this day, we were very, very quiet, and we moved only in very small increment motions. Being a journalist, my first impulse was to call the National Press Club. I asked for Tony Zumel. How many know the name? Tony Zumel? Oh my God, he was a legend. He was the president of the National Press Club at the time. So the secretary, upon hearing my name, I identified myself, went into this unusually saccharine tone. Hi, hello, how are you? Which is not something anybody at the National Press Club uses with me. Oh, how are you?